everybody, it's Jenny, and I am here with a memory planner layout that we're going to keep nice and clean and simple. I have pre-printed my photos. I used my Epson PictureMate printer. The quality is fantastic, and you can use any photo paper you would like, which to me is a huge benefit. I have trimmed up the photos right now on my paper trimmer. I got the photos into this collage. They are 4 2x3s approximately, and I used the Pick Frame app. I have owned that app for about 10 years, so it's a little bit different now, but any photo collage app will work to be able to create different size photos on one 4x6 or theoretically 5x7 if you wanted to print that route, since you can print that size with the Epson PictureMate. I'm just going to adhere the photos down to the page, and you can see I have a lot of photos for later in the week and not as many at the beginning of the week, but that's okay because this gives me opportunity to embellish more on the left-hand side than on the right-hand side, and that's not even a problem. It's not a big deal. So I do like to try to keep the photos in the general vicinity of when they happened. So for example, if a photo was taken on Sunday, I like to try to keep it on Sunday if at all possible. It's not always possible. And sometimes photos like of my pets or a food or things like that can go on different days. It doesn't really matter that much. I'm going to be using a lot of these rub-ons from 49 and Market. These are kind of a birthday slash New Year's slash celebration theme, and they're really pretty. And I was very drawn to them, so I'm looking forward to using them. This is a birthday week in my family, and there's not anything overtly themed birthday about my photos or anything like that, but I still feel like this is sort of celebratory. I'm also using this Echo Park stamp set that is also birthday themed this week, and I will use my black VersaFine ink, and I finally got a new ink pad after probably 10 years of using my old one, though I'm not using it all the time because it's very, very juicy, and so it doesn't work in all of the applications the way I want it to because it's so stinking juicy, which isn't a bad thing. It's absolutely not a bad thing. So I'm just still working with both of them. So I like to layer the pieces together, not only to create clusters, but also like I stamped on top of some of the rub-ons, and the result is really cool. And I just love that about rub-ons and stamping and how they work together as well as they work separately or independently. So that first cluster turned out really well, and I'm so excited about it because it is exactly how I wanted it to be, if that makes sense. It feels really festive and fun, but it's not over the top. So now I'm going to do more clusters and embellishing over on the left-hand side. And this top one, I am just sort of putting in between those two photos. And this is my house was getting painted on the outside. And so we're just sort of sandwiching my embellishments in between those two photos of my house, one in nearly completed painting and then in the completed finished product. Now, I always love these large swatches of watercolor splotches slash splatters. I think they're always really, really cute. And they just feel very playful and casual, which is how I want an everyday week to feel, right? Like I don't want it to feel really formal and stuffy. And then I'm also adding this big pink flower as well, and a little bit of layering there with the ink splatter and the plant. But I couldn't stop there. I mean, I got to keep going because while it's all really cute, I need another element to sort of tie it all together and make it feel finished. And one of the words was absolutely perfect. And if you have not used rub-ons, they do also layer beautifully right on top of photos. So now sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to decide what to use. And so in this case, because I knew that I was really going to only use these rub-ons, I had to figure out my last cluster because I wanted to use, I don't want to say more of the everyday elements, but I mean kind of, because I do have that celebratory bit on the right-hand side. And that's really all that I want to add. Like, I don't want the whole thing to be in your face birthday, which I've done tons of times before. So it's not like I'm against it or anything like that. I just wanted this one to be a little bit more subdued, especially because there weren't any actual birthday celebrations going on in the photos this week. So I wanted it to have mostly more of an everyday feel, which luckily for me, there were plenty of other elements. So the same as I did at the top, I added the splatter paint and then the floral on top. And then I'm going to add this phrase about celebrations or a new year, those types of a fresh start. And I felt like it was really appropriate for not only the birthday in my family, but then also the painting of my new or of our house, because, a fresh new start for the facade. I mean, I think you probably get it. But it's all just so cute. And I really love the way that all of these elements, like they're different. Like you have the florals and the splatters and the very graphic text, how they all work together really well. All right, so you can see that I've got all of this sort of laid out. And I do like to use some of these little strips. They're like the sticker strips that just have a couple words on them, but they're rub-ons. So I think that they really make photos, they give them kind of a little bit of extra. They really elevate the overall aesthetic. And so I think that that looks really cute. And I just always love using those. I can't help myself. I use them all the time when they're stickers too. So I'm going to use this sticker book to add the dates as well. I did write the dates in pencil across the top just because I was sort of going back and adding a bunch of the photos that I had already pre-printed, and I wanted to make sure that I got them right. Not on this particular week, but on a couple weeks before. And so I wanted to just make sure that I got all the dates. And so I added them in pencil really small up at the top. And I'm really glad that I did, honestly, because I think that it worked out well in terms of keeping all of this organized and me getting the photos down on the correct days. And then I will add a couple of boxes for activities too. I honestly just don't have quite as many recently, and so I haven't been using these as much, but they do work really, really well and highlight those activities or appointments, which I do really like to have on the page, them a little bit of pop. And this is a brand new stamp set from my stash that I wanted to use because I wanted to highlight my days at the California Pen Show, and I thought that this stamp was perfect for that. So this one is for my stash. So I'm just going to add this one little stamp right here, and I used Versa Magic ink, which is a really, really, really wet and juicy pigment ink. And so I did need to use my heat tool to speed along the drying process so that I did not smear any of that ink, because I, rest assured, definitely would have smeared it if I did not just go ahead and take care of that with the heat tool. Now I want to add some lines for my journaling. So I'm going to use my new handy dandy ruler that goes with my glass mat, which I'm absolutely positively obsessed with because it covers a large area of my desk, and I can do all of the really messy things and then just wipe it up with glass cleaner, and it's absolutely perfect. So I love that. But I used pencil so that I could just erase the lines, and I go through phases of where I like to use pen or mild liner or whatever to make the lines. I'm currently in a pencil phase where I just then erase the lines, but just, do different things to work on that. I was just adding different journaling spots throughout the week based on, I mean, I want to say the photos, but really it was what was going on. But sometimes I do big swaths of journaling that is an overview, but here I'm doing a little bit more journaling that is specific to the activities or the photos. All right, so this will finish up the layout, this little last bit of journaling and erasing those pencil lines. But thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below, and I will do my very best to get back to you. Thank you so much and make it a great day.